All right, so we're going to get started here now. I have the WolfNet webinar calendar up on my screen first to get things started off. At wolfnet.com/webinars, you can view all of our upcoming webinars on the back office, URL search builder, and other Keller Williams specific resources. So we would encourage you to take a look at our webinar calendar and join any other webinars that might be of interest to you. Today we're going to go over the Genius Suite, some of the new features that have been launched at Family Reunion that are available to all Keller Williams agents as part of your tech fee that you pay. So as a Keller Williams agent, as part of your tech fee, you get WolfNet IDX solution through your eAgentC website. I know there's been a lot of talk lately about eEdge and your lead cultivation system. Let's just first start off by saying that WolfNet IDX and the eEdge lead cultivation system are not exclusive from one another. Your eAgentC website and your WolfNet IDX work dynamically in conjunction with the eEdge system. So meaning that all leads that are generated through your eAgentC website and WolfNet IDX are routed to that eEdge system that you have available to you as Keller Williams agents. Today, I will be presenting. My name is Grant Worthen. I'm the head of sales here at WolfNet Technologies, and then I'm going to have Jake Bentz answering questions. In your GoToMeeting sidebar widget, you should have a section titled Questions. If you have any questions, go ahead and type those questions in there, and Jake will do his best to answer those questions. Any that go unanswered, we will address after the webinar in an email to you directly. So, what is the Genius Suite? The Genius Suite is WolfNet's new suite of property search services. The offerings are grouped into 3 packages: the Producer Package, the Executive Package, and the Elite Package. The Producer Package has a new user-friendly search interface as part of it, additional features designed to retain traffic, promote repeat traffic, and capture more leads, more options to customize for your business. It's 100% fully backwards compatible, meaning that any of the searches you set up or the property search criteria and customizations that you did previous to all these enhancements we're going to go over, it all is going to work with the new property search solution that you all have been upgraded to. And we made those upgrades back in February at and around Family Reunion. So you all have already been upgraded to this new package and this new solution that we're going to go over today. So as part of the Producer Package, we made a real big enhancement to the user interface. It's a brand new modern interface. It's customizable for your business, and there's serious lead capture power. So you'll see that the look and feel of the property search solution here and within your eAgentC website has dramatically changed. We have a lot of new features on it, new calls to action that are highlighted in green to obviously generate more leads. That's what the property search is all about, is built around capturing as many leads as possible and providing consumers with the tools that they're looking for. There's also additional features on it that you can customize for your business, such as a refined search. You can change the way that the listings are displayed on your website from a list view to a grid view, and we'll go over some of these features and enhancements in the live demo of it. As part of your Producer Package, you now all have a mobile IDX. So the mobile IDX is fast and easy. It provides on-the-go accessibility. It's got a smart user interface, and it's integrated with WolfNet IDX. There's also built-in lead capture via email and text messages. One thing to note is that in order to receive text message leads, you need to make sure that you log into your WolfNet back office and add your mobile phone number in. You can access your WolfNet back office by going to wolfnet.com and logging in directly from the home page. You can also access your WolfNet back office in the KW intranet under section 4.4 of eAgentC website administration. We've also added a lifestyle search to your package, to your Producer Package. So as part of your property search, you not only are able to search for property price range, bedrooms, bathrooms, and other criteria, but you're also able to search by lifestyle criteria, such as type of neighborhood, highly rated schools, low crime rating, median home income, and commute time. It's seamlessly integrated into the property search. It's customized for every market, and it's a huge repeat traffic generator. The lifestyle search is one of those tools that we added as a sticky tool. When you're bringing consumers to your website, the idea is to keep them on your website as long as possible and to retain that traffic. This is one of those tools that consumers use as they're early on in the home searching process that they really like, and is a sticky tool. It'll keep them on your site longer. So I would encourage you to go and look at your property search in your eAgentC website. Play around with the lifestyle search. It works. It's really cool. It works great, especially if you have our mapping. And I'm going to show you how the lifestyle search works later in the demo with the map-based search. We've also added neighborhood and school data on every listing detail page. It's available on all the listing detail pages. It's comprehensive information. It's accurate and up to date. And it's powerful visitor retention. So on every listing detail page of your property search, there is a call to action for neighborhood data as well as school data. This is some really cool information because when a consumer finds a property that they're interested in, they can click on school data, and then they actually get a report of things such as the schools in that particular neighborhood for that listing, high schools, grade schools, middle schools. There's all sorts of statistics on each school as well, such as students per grade, expenditures per student, teachers per student, librarians per student. There's a lot of really good and comprehensive information in there. And the school data is provided by greatschools.org. The neighborhood data on each listing, some of you have probably used eNeighborhoods before for neighborhood data. This is a lot more accurate than like the eNeighborhoods data or a lot of the other data providers out there for neighborhood information, because what we do is we zoom all the way down to what's called a block group. So instead of using zip code data for a listing, we use block group data, which might be 2 or 3 square blocks. As we get listings in the MLS, so each and every listing that comes on a daily basis, we'll take that listing and we'll submit it to a number of government websites, and we get a block group code back. And then instead of submitting the zip code for the neighborhood information on that listing, we submit that block code. We all know there's a lot of different neighborhoods within a zip code, so it's really important that you guys are aware that we're doing this by the block group code, and that it's much more accurate than other property searches and websites out there. Social media. So you probably are aware that there are social media tools added to your property search now. It gives consumers the ability to share listings via Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Tumblr, Reddit, Google. There's a whole list of social media tools built into the property search solution, and you can leverage these social media tools to increase listing exposure and visibility. I'll give you an example. Say you're looking for a new car today. A lot of people that are looking for a new car, you and I might go out and ask 2, maybe 3 of our friends what they think about a new car. With social media today, especially this younger generation of buyers, they're not going out and asking 2 or 3 friends. They're asking 200 or 300 of their friends via Facebook, via Twitter, etc. So social media tools are an extremely important piece to have and make sure you're leveraging within your property search solution. Last month alone, there's something called viral lift in the social media world. And what viral lift stands for is it stands for the number of clicks it takes or shares of a specific item or a property in this case, and how much return traffic that brings back to where that click was generated. The viral lift rate on social media tools on our property listing detail pages among Keller Williams Search Solutions was 130% last month, meaning that for every 100 listings that were shared via Keller Williams agent websites, 131 new clients and new traffic came back to those listings to view them on your website. So again, these social media tools are incorporated into all of the listing detail pages. They're on your personal IDX solution. If a consumer clicks on that Facebook profile, any of their friends that want to see that listing are brought back to your site with your branding and information on it. It's a great traffic generator. Customer behavior. So what we do when we register a lead for you, or when you generate a lead, is we provide you with a customer behavior summary. And that behavior summary, as you can see, has number of listings, top 5 listings viewed and how many times each listing has been viewed, top cities searched by the lead, most recent searches in order, so it will tell you the city, the property types, the price ranges, the bedrooms, the bathrooms, and then the behavior, so the average price ranges, etc. Now, what's really cool about this is not just a behavior summary of what that lead has done after they registered. This is giving you the behavior summary of what they had been doing before they even ever registered. So for example, say you have a consumer searching on your property search site, and they've been searching for the last 3 months, and today they find a listing they really like, and they inquire about that listing, and maybe that inquiry that they send to you is, does this property have a basement? Well, typically, you don't have a lot of information to go off. A lead, you generate a lead, it asks, does this property have a basement? The answer is either yes or no. Whereas now we're providing you a behavior summary of what that lead had done the 3 months prior to signing up today. So you can see that maybe that property doesn't have a basement, but you can see that they've searched, listing 1 14 times, listing 2 10 times, listing 3 6 times. You now have information at your fingertips to answer that question that they've asked, and provide them with additional information that might help out. So the answer might be, no, this property unfortunately does not have a basement. However, have you seen listing, MLS ID 1 2 3 4? And you know that they've seen that listing 5 times or 6 times. And have you seen this listing? And you give them another listing maybe that think fits their search criteria based upon this summary. So customer behaviors are a really important and powerful piece. I will note too that you have to go into and log into your WolfNet back office to enable customer behavior. It is not enabled out of the gate. So again, if you log into wolfnet.com into your property search solution account, or if you go to KW Intranet section 4.4, you can log in, look for the section titled Customer Behavior, and click Yes, send me my customer behavior summary. We're going to go into a live example of the producer package. So again, everything I've shown you and gone over so far is what you have through your tech fees. It's free to use a Keller Williams agent. Here we have a property search or a eAgentC website in front of us. And if we click on property search for a property in your area, that will pull up the producer package. So our property search here, if we go from top down, you'll see across the top we have a search for active listings, open houses, and foreclosures. And then our primary search types are county, city, address, zip code, school district, and body of water. At the bottom of the property search, you're going to have a live listing count. You can see in this MLS we have 55,000 active listings. If we run a county city search and we add a city over to the selected cities, you'll see that live listing count is now dropped to 388 matches. If we add a property type, maybe we're looking for single-family homes, we're now down to 237. And then if we add a price range, we'll go a maximum price range of 250,000. We're down to 18 matches. Our lifestyle search is over on the right-hand side. We can also use the lifestyle search in conjunction with the primary search criteria. For me, to save time, I'm going to wait to demo the lifestyle search until we have it with the mapping. But we've got 18 matches. If we were to click Save This Search, well, this is one of those calls to action for lead capture that would get routed into your eAgent system. If a client clicks Save Search, what's going to happen is we're going to save a search for Edina, the city of Edina, with a maximum price range of $250,000 and a property type of single-family home. Anytime a new listing comes on the MLS that matches that exact search criteria, they'll be notified or emailed with a link to that listing, bringing them back to your website So you then are branded again as the agent on that property. If we go into the search results, from the search results page, you'll see we added this refined search towards the top. This refined search can be at the top of your property search on the search results page, or you also have admin capabilities to add it to the left-hand side, or you can take it off completely. Those settings are located in your WolfNet back office. If we scroll down, you'll see our call to action, again, for email me when new listings match this search. If the consumer was to click this button and create a profile, they would then be emailed with listings that match this exact search they just ran. Now, on our listing results page, we have new photo banners. Any house that has an open house, if we get open house data in your MLS, would have an open house banner. If it's a foreclosure and we get foreclosure data in your MLS, you would see a foreclosure banner on the listing. That goes for sold properties, REO bank-owned properties, and new listings. A new listing would be a listing that has been entered into the MLS within the last 7 days. Over on the right-hand side of the listing results, you'll find lead capture tool. Again, we've designed this producer package and our property search solution that's used in your eAgentC site to generate leads. We want to provide the consumers with tools they're looking for that you will then capture them as a lead, and it will be routed into your eAge system. So if they request a showing, inquire about a listing, or add to favorites, a lead will be generated for you. If they click to go into the property details page, across the top of the property details page, you'll find your general property criteria, your price range, your bedrooms, your bathrooms, your square feet. Right above that, you will find branding for your contact information. If the consumer has a question, your phone number is going to be here. You are branded as the agent on all of these listings. If they have a question, they can click have a question, a lead will be generated, or if they'd like to request a showing, a lead would be generated as well. I would also encourage you to go into your back office and add your photo into your profile. So log into your WolfNet back office and add your photo. If you add your photo, you'll be branded with your photo here on each and every listing. Across the top, we also have our social media tools. So we talked about sharing those listings via social media tools. You could do this as the realtor. You could share a listing on your Facebook profile, or the consumer can also share these listings via Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. There's a whole list of social media tools that they can use. Down below, you'll see that we pull in high-resolution, large photos. So the MLSs that provide us with large photos, we pull these in. A lot of your competitors out there will not have photos this large. We also have lead capture calls to action across the top of the photo. So add this listing to favorites, email listing to a friend. We have a mortgage calculator tool. And then here's our neighborhood and school data. You'll see if we click on the neighborhood information for this listing, you're going to get information such as median home values for this neighborhood compared to the city, compared to the county, compared to the national. Home appreciations in this neighborhood, the city, the county, and national. Home value chart, home appreciation chart, median ages of homes, homes owned versus homes rented, average rental cost, percentage of homes rented. There's really a lot of good information in here under the neighborhood tab. I would encourage you to go in here, learn what kind of information you have on these listings, and use this at your listing appointments. Use it with the buyers you're working with, because buyers eat this kind of information up. They want to know about the neighborhood of the listing that they're looking at. You'll also see if we click on schools, it will give us the schools and the data on schools for this particular listing or neighborhood. So we've got here high school graduates in the neighborhood as compared to the city, compared to the county, and compared to the national. We've got college degrees, graduate degrees, expenditures per student, students per teacher, students per librarian, expenditures per student, and then we've got all the schools listed out below. If we were to click on a high school, for example, we can actually go further into the information on the specific high school. So this particular listing that we're looking at is at Minnetonka Senior High School. We can see students per grade, we can see teachers, we can see expenditures per student, etc. And then if we click on Minnetonka Senior High School, it would take us to greatschools.org to find out further information on that particular school. Across the top, you'll also see some other tabs for housing, people, economy, environment, quality of life. Again, there's really a lot of powerful information in here for both listing appointments as well as buyers. So I would encourage you to cruise through your neighborhood school information, really learn it, and learn how you can use it to your advantage. As we scroll down below the listing, we have a full-size photo slideshow. And this particular listing only has one photo. There's also another call to action for have a question. And then you'll get the general overview and remarks below. At the bottom of the listing details page, there will also be a call to action for an appointment with your contact information. Some additional key features as part of the producer package. The back office. So as I mentioned earlier, you have a back office, a WolfNet back office. Within that back office, there are lead capture settings. So we just looked at running a property search solution. We looked at some of the tools that we have there for the consumer to use to generate a lead. There are also settings in your back office where you can force registration. So you could ask a consumer to register in order to view address data. Or one of the more popular ones is you could ask a consumer to register after they've viewed 2 or 3 or maybe 4 of those property detail pages that we looked at. There's a lot of great tools in there, so I would encourage you to go into your back office and play around with some of your property search settings. There is also a URL search builder in your back office. For those of you that don't know what the URL search builder is, it's our most widely used and most popular tool that we have with our property search solution. The URL search builder allows you to create predefined listing results pages of properties that match certain search criteria. So say, for example, you focus on the city of Minneapolis, and you want to have a radio button on your homepage of your website, whether it's the eAgentC site or a custom third-party website that displays condos in Minneapolis. What you can do is you can log into your back office, click on URL search builder, and you can click Minneapolis condos between $200,000 and $300,000, and then you can take that link that it generates for you and put it right on your home page of your website. And when a consumer clicks on that link that says view condos in Minneapolis between $200,000 and $300,000, it will bring them directly to the results page of the listings that match. We have a client in Atlanta, and he was using the URL search builder, and he had lead capture statistics that were just out of this world. He was capturing 25% of all of the traffic and leads, or all of the traffic that was going to his website, meaning that for every 100 users that went to his website and his property search, he was getting 25 of them to ask a question about a property or inquire about a listing. So we called him up and we asked him, we said, you know, this just doesn't make a lot of sense. How are you capturing this many leads? It just makes no sense. Our next highest lead capture rate is around 5–10%. You're at 25%. And he said, it's easy. Let me give you an example. He said, well, I use your URL search builder to create those predefined links. Let me give you an example. Have you ever gone to Google and you're searching for something specific? And he used the example, an Oreck vacuum cleaner bag. And so you go to Google, you type in Oreck vacuum cleaner bag, and you click search. And you get your results. And you click on that first link, and it takes you to Walmart.com, and you're on their home page, and you have to search from it from there, and you just cruise through 10 pages or so, and you're like, I'm not going to spend any more time on this. I'm never going to find it on this site. So you go back to Google, you go to that second result, and that second result takes you to a page that has a bunch of advertisements on it. And you're like, gosh, you're just getting frustrated, right? You just want to find that Oreck vacuum cleaner bag. And then you click on that third result in Google, and on that third result, a page pulls up, and it has the Oreck vacuum cleaner bag, and it's a 3-pack, and it's buy it now for $11.99, and it's free shipping. What do? You click buy it now, right? You found what you're looking for, and it was one click. He said, I do a similar thing with real estate and with your URL search builder. I create these predefined searches on my website and on my my Google AdWords campaign. And rather than allowing the consumer to select their criteria, I set them up for them. So I'll run an AdWords campaign that, and this agent works out of Atlanta. Instead of buying an AdWords campaign for Atlanta real estate, what he'll do is he'll go and he'll buy an AdWord campaign for Atlanta homes for sale between $200,000 and $300,000 with 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. And he said, I don't get a lot of clicks for that or a lot of searches for it, but I get a couple, and it just costs pennies on the dollar to have that AdWord campaign going. And when a consumer goes to Google and searches real estate, which they do, they go to Google and they start typing Atlanta homes, $200,000 to $300,000 with 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and my site pops up, and they click that link, and it lands them right on the results page with those lead capture tools. They click the buy it now. They click inquire about a listing. They click request a showing. They want that information. So, again, it's an example of how you can really use that URL search builder to tailor your searches on your website, on your eAgentC site, as well as your third-party custom sites, and then use it everywhere. That producer package that we showed you, our property search solutions, those can be used on any website, both the eAgentC website or any other third-party website you have, whether it's through Top Producer, Advanced Access, a WordPress site, etc. So on to our executive package. This is our first upgrade, and as part of this upgrade to your producer package, you receive an interactive map-based property search known as MapTracks 3.0. It's our latest, most powerful version of mapping. It interacts with all search types, meaning that if you run an address search or you run a school district search, as soon as you choose a school district or you type in an address, that map is going to do the work for you. It will zoom into that specific listing or that specific school district and show you listings on the map that match. It automatically zooms to the best fit, and it instantly displays results. Internet home buyers are all about instant gratification. You as a realtor, your job is to get them to pictures of homes on your website as fast as possible. Otherwise, they'll leave. They'll bounce, and they'll go to another website. There are also the new photo banners, as I showed you in our first demo, that display with special listing statuses such as new, foreclosure, short sale, sold properties, and open houses as well. And it's the easiest to use map search in the business, designed to keep them coming back for more. Within the listing details page of every listing now, if you have the map-based search, there are Google Street Views, Microsoft Bird's Eye Views, aerial views, house views, and points of interest. So not only do you have that listing and you have the listing photo, you also have that Google Street View. So your consumer, your home buyer that you're working with, they're not subject to just looking at those property photos that were provided by the listing agent. They can get down on that street level and they can see what that neighborhood looks like. It will save you a lot of time going out and showing homes when you have a consumer that can go and see that the neighbor's house has a truck sitting next door with grass growing out of it and it's halfway torn down. I don't know. It gives you a lot more information and provides a lot more sticky tools having that map on your property search solution. As part of the executive package as well, you also get an IDX VOW combo. Now I'm going to preface this by saying that the VOW data right now is only available in select markets, so you need to contact us directly if you're interested in VOW data. But for those of you that are not familiar with VOW, it stands for Virtual Office Website. And I'll tell you a little story where it came from. There was a guy in Kansas, and he was a real estate broker. He had his license, and he had created this great mousetrap of a website. It was a landing page. And on that landing page of that website, it said, sign up on my website to view criteria for houses such as price range, bedrooms, bathrooms, property types, etc. But not only do I give you that, I give you original list price of the property. I give you days on market for every listing. I give you price change history for every listing. So what he was doing was he was providing fields to the consumer, fields of data that the other realtors weren't providing. And this real estate broker in Kansas, he was just doing a great job marketing the site. He was posting it on Google AdWord campaigns. He was posting it on billboards. He was posting it on the bus stop benches. And he was just driving tons of traffic to the site, and he was capturing leads left and right. And he wasn't even selling real estate. What he was doing was he was referring the leads back to the big brokerages. like Remax, Coldwell Banker, Keller Williams, etc. And he was just grabbing that referral fee. The brokers weren't too happy about it, and the brokers, this was a broker-owned and controlled MLS, the brokers got together and said, what are we going to do about this? So they got together and they said, well, let's make IDX, instead of an opt-in, let's make it a selective opt-out. And so what they did is they said, all right, Agent A, you can have our listings. Agent B, you can have our listings and display them on your website. But Agent C, this broker who's generating all this traffic and he's referring them back to our agents, the leads, you can't have our listings anymore. So this broker was only left with 20, 30, 40% of the listings in the MLS. So what does he do? He ends up going to the Department of Justice, antitrust. So a few years back, a few of you may have heard NAR and the Department of Justice had gotten into a little bit of a legal battle over what data can and cannot be displayed on a property search solution and what kind of relationship has to be established in order to view that data, what kind of relationship with the consumer and the realtor. And so what had come out of that discussion between NAR and the Department of Justice was that there's now going to be an IDX feed, which essentially is the marketing data. Anyone can display it if they're a realtor on their website and use it to market and to generate leads. And there's also going to be a separate data set called a VOW data set. And that's that enhanced data set that has original list price, price history, days on market, etc. And that data set can only be viewed once the consumer has created a profile with that realtor and authenticated their email address. So what we did was we took the VOW property search, those additional data fields, and we have overlaid it on top of your IDX property search solution. And this is available to you now at Keller Williams as an upgrade. So what customers do is they search the property search, your IDX property search on your eAgentC site. They can search by price range, bedrooms, bathrooms. They can still view those properties, but they can register to gain access to exclusive data such as original list price, price history, and days on market. We strategically place those sign-up calls to action throughout both the property search, the listing results page, and the listing details page. Again, optimizing the number of leads we can generate for you and route to your eAdge system. As part of that VOW package, we've seen increases in lead capture by a minimum of 25%. We've actually seen lead capture increases upwards of 100 to 200%. And email authentication rates are at or above 85%. This is common. So we know that the consumers, these are just data, original list price, price history, and days on market. These are trigger points. The consumer wants this data, and when they realize you as an agent are providing it, and none of the other agents at Remax, Coldwell Banker, Century 21 are providing this data, they're registering on your property search site. Let's take a look at a live example of both the map-based search and the VOW data. So again, here we have an eAgentC website, and if I click on property search and search for a property in your area, now we have the map-based search. Instead of running a city search, I'm going to run a lifestyle search with this because I think the lifestyle search is really cool with the map-based search. If we choose highly rated schools being extremely important, maybe we select a maximum price range of $250,000. You'll see the map has dynamically updated, and it's clustered houses into areas that have highly rated schools and a maximum price range of $250,000. As we hover over those listings, here's where we have that VOW data. You'll see here, days on market, unlock. There's that call to action for lead capture. If we find a property that has had price decreases, we'll see original list price. So here we go. On this listing, we've got original list price unlocked. The map-based search, as we mentioned, works with all search types. It will work with address, zip, school district, and body of water. I like body of water. This is cool. Again, this data, though, at the top here, the county city search, the address, zip, school district, and the body of water, this data is subject to your MLS. So your MLS might have different search types. But for body of water, for example, if we grab, I like to do White Bear Lake, and we add White Bear Lake over to the right-hand side, you'll see that the mapping is just relocated to the White Bear Lake area, showing up all listings that match on White Bear Lake. If I do a school district search, and I do Edina, and I add Edina, you're going to see the map-based search again will dynamically relocate us to the Edina School District, showing us houses that match our criteria. And then if I go into a listing details page from here, across the top, you're going to still have all of your same information that we went over with the producer package, but now down below, you're going to have that big call to action as part of the VOW data, unlock exclusive data, access original list price, price history, days on market, and more. And then now we have maps down below. So as part of the maps on the listing detail page, you've got hybrid views, you've got aerial views, you've got house views, so that Microsoft bird's eye imagery. And you've also got Google Street View, so you can get down onto that road and actually look and see what the specific neighborhood looks like from a street point of view. And we can go full screen as well. As we scroll down below, you're going to find again that we strategically placed those VOW calls to action for price change history, days on market, cumulative days on market, unlocked. If the consumer clicks here, they have to create a profile with you. A lead is then generated. Down in the financial section, we also have original list price, price history. Sometimes we'll have other fields such as financial remarks. Those are all VOW fields and require registration. And again, this is something that we've spent a lot of time and work with Keller Williams implementing this VOW search, and it's something that really only the Keller Williams agents have exclusive access to, and there's a lot of opportunity here early on while the other brokerages don't have data access to this. As part of our third package, which is the Elite package, it includes a sold property search and open house data. The sold property search is data provided by the MLS. You can search for solds within the last 2 years, and all sold information is highlighted throughout the search. This Elite package is also subject to the data we get from your MLS, so please email us if you would like sold property search. We can check and see on its availability. If it is available, you can actually view and search sold listing data. You can also leverage the sold data with custom search strings and our URL search builder. So say, for example, you want to create a predefined search of your sold listings. We can help you create that predefined search of your sold listings within the last 2 years. Let's take a look at the sold search now. If we click on property search, search for a property in your area. Now you'll see we have the solds radio button. If we select solds and we scroll down, we can select a specific city. You'll see that the map, again, is going to dynamically locate to that city, and it's going to show us sold listings that match. We could also select a price or a date range. So say we want to look at solds within the last 3 months, and we want to further zoom into a specific neighborhood to view these solds. We can look at the solds in our neighborhood. Folks, this is a great tool for those listing appointments. Arm the consumer with this sold data. How many times do we go to a listing appointment and that consumer that we're potentially going to list a house for already has their sold data that they've gathered from an unreputable source? Maybe they've pulled estimates from Zillow, or they've gone to Trulia or some other source to get sold data. Add the sold data if it's available in your MLS, because you want your consumers to be armed with accurate and up-to-date information from the MLS. If we click on a listing detail page for a sold property, again, you've got that call to action for the VOW data. So we can see the sold price. But if we register for the VOW, we can also see the price change history of this listing, the days on market until this listing sold, and the original list price of this listing. Some tips and tricks that we'll go through to wrap things up here. So you have your mobile property search. Your mobile property search, if I go back to one of the Keller Williams websites, if we go to property search again, search for a property in your area, What happens with the mobile property search is when we hit this page from a mobile device, our property search solution, your property search solution, will recognize that the consumer has come to this property search page on a mobile device, and it will render the mobile version, okay? What you can do as a tips and tricks is up here you've got your property search URL on your eAgentC site. If you take the www out and add an M there, that will pull up your mobile property search, your personal mobile property search. It looks a little funky here on a PC, but on a mobile device, I can assure you this works and looks great. What you can do with this mobile property search URL then is create a second domain name for it and forward that domain name to your mobile property search. So, for example, on this specific slide, you can see that one second here. So on this specific slide, you can see that this particular client has a property search URL of LakeMinnetonkaProperties.com. Here's their web or their property search URL, and here's their mobile domain. I just showed you how you can add the M in place of the www. So this client has LakeMinnetonkaProperties.com. What you could do is you could go and register LakeMinnetonkaPropertiesMobile.com and point that domain name directly to your mobile property search URL. So that on your business card, you can put on your business card, go to my website to search homes for sale on a PC or a Mac at LakeMinnetonkaProperties.com. If you're on a mobile device, go to LakeMinnetonkaPropertiesMobile.com, and that will go directly to your mobile device. Craigslist. So the URL search builder for Craigslist. Folks, Craigslist is the #9 most traffic site in the U.S. right now. There's 20 million hits monthly on Craigslist and 7 billion page views monthly, and it's free to use. If you have listings or you have an agent that will allow you to use their listing, use Craigslist. For whatever reason, consumers are going to Craigslist and they're searching for homes. So what we do here is we use our listing to create a little blurb about the listing and the key property details, and then we use the URL search builder to create predefined links that bring the consumer from Craigslist to your website. So we've used the URL search builder to build a link for Minneapolis homes for sale, search all homes for sale, Edina homes for sale, Minnetonka homes for sale. These would bring the consumer, if they clicked on them from Craigslist, directly to your landing page of results that match on your eAgentC website. It's a great traffic generator. So I'll tell you a little bit, before I go on to the next slide, I'll tell you a little bit of a personal story. I've been doing the technology side of things for about 6 years now for WolfNet, and I know a lot about what it takes to generate a lead, to drive traffic to a site, to optimize the website with SEO, but I don't know the first thing about what it takes to write a purchase agreement or sell a house. And so I thought, okay, how can I put the things that we teach to practice and start using them and seeing if they work. So my wife last year went out and got her real estate license, and she went through the classes at our local school, and she got her license, and she got out, and quickly she realized that even after those classes, she too quickly realized that she didn't know how to sell a house or write a purchase agreement. We learned that those classes teach you how to not get into trouble, right? They don't teach you how to write a purchase agreement or sell a house. So what did we do? We resorted back to what I know best, which is using these tools that we have as Keller Williams agents available to us to generate business. And so she did 3 things. The first is that she set up her website with her WolfNet property search solution, and she went to her broker and she said, hey, would you mind if I came to your open houses with you? And her broker was cool with that. He said, yeah, sure, come to them. You can help out. And in fact, once you get used to it, you know what you're doing. I'd love for you to just handle my open houses. I don't really like going to them. My clients like me to have them, but I don't like going to them. So she did. She'd go to the open houses, and what she would do is she'd set up a laptop on the coffee table, and on that coffee table, she'd have her laptop open to her property search with wireless internet going. And as consumers or home buyers came into those open houses, she'd say, you know, hey, will you just sit down for me, or sit down with me for 20 seconds so I can show you something real cool. And so they'd sit down for 20 seconds, and what she'd do is she would show them her property search solution. And she'd point out two things. She'd point out that she has, A, the ability to search by a map-based search and save searches to get those email notifications we talked about earlier. And B, she would point out the VOW data, so that original list price, the price change history, and the days on market. And then what she'd do is she'd say, you know, I can give you access to this exclusive data that no other agents around here can. If you go to the big brokerages here locally, which are Edina Realty, Remax, Coldwell Banker, and she'd take them to those websites, she'd say, you can't get the data here. This is something I'm providing to you, you know, of value, that if you create a profile on my website, you can see and use this information. And then she'd also walk them through the process of setting up that profile and you know, setting them up on the safe search and giving them access to that data. The second thing was she generated these Craigslist ads. She built these Craigslist ads with our URL search builder, and she drive traffic from her Craigslist ads directly to her website. And the third thing she did was she would follow up with leads within 10 minutes, and that leads us into the next slide. And using these three tips and tricks, the Craigslist ads, the open houses, bringing her laptop and signing up people for those safe searches and showing the VOW data and that exclusivity, she was able to, in 8 months, she's closed about 5 or 6 transactions. She's working part-time, closed 5 or 6 transactions, has 2,000 visitors to her website a month, and has generated a ton of leads. So the moral of the story is that, you know, you have a lot of tools here available to you through Keller Williams that you can use. And if you have not started taking advantage of these, we would encourage you to take advantage of some of these tools, like the producer package, the IDX solution, some of the upgrades to increase that stickiness of your website, like the map-based search and the VOW data and the sold data, because you too can use these tools to generate additional leads and additional revenue in business. So just to recap on some of the services that we went over that are provided to you as part of your tech fee, free, as well as some of the upgrades. We have the producer package, which is the property search solution, the mobile IDX, lifestyle search, and the neighborhood and school data. We have the executive package, which is our first upgrade package. It's just a $15 setup fee and $19.99 monthly, and that adds the interactive map-based search with the different map views, as well as that IDX VOW combo and the exclusive data. And then the third package down, the Elite package, which adds that open house search and sold listing search. And that's a $15 setup fee and $29.99 monthly. And then also, if you saw something that struck interest, you can also sign up for them a la carte. The map-based search, MapTracks, is a $10 setup fee and $10 a month. That VOW exclusive data is a $10 setup fee and $10 a month. The sold property search is just $10 a month, and the open house search is $5 a month. We would invite and encourage you to take advantage of some of these because they really do increase leads and generate additional repeat traffic. As a side note, if you have an eAgentC website that you're using, there are a lot of good resources to upgrade your eAgentC site and give it a custom look and feel. Here's an example of an eAgentC site. I mean, this looks like a $2,000 or $3,000 website. This is a website that we and another company we partnered with have customized for this particular agent. The thing I like about this website is it's clear where you click to search for homes. You know, is the consumer going to have a problem finding the property search? Probably not. So we also do custom eAgentC websites as well. We would ask that you email us if you want additional information on that. We do complete custom WordPress, WolfPress websites as well, and we have a lot of examples that we can send you those as well, above and beyond. They're SEO friendly, they're integrated, they have an integrated search, blog, and social media, and they have indexable listings. And that's it. That's going to wrap things up for today's webinar. Again, we would encourage you to continue to go back to our wolfnet.com site. Check the webinar section for upcoming webinars. We have some that are specifically on the URL search builder and leveraging that tool to generate additional leads. We talked briefly on that today, but it will really go into depth on that. I'm going to stick around for a little bit here. If you have questions, please continue to ask them in the questions box, and we'll answer them as we see. Thank you.